Lots of key top 25 action last night. And also, we have TJ Eskildsen. He's the head men's basketball coach, the McPherson Bulldogs. Buckle up. Cascade Hoops Talk starts right now. Cascade Hoops Talk, produced in the shadow of the beautiful Cascade Mountains and bringing the world NAIA basketball. One podcast at a time. Okay, I'm going to try to get through our update fairly quick because we have TJ Eskildsen on tonight, McPherson out of the KCAC, and they won tonight. That's good. The Billy D jinx is not a real thing, Chuck. See? So Grace College, number 1 in the country. Who's going to beat Grace? Somebody will beat Grace. The universe does not like undefeated teams, but tonight they beat St. Francis 85-74. Gavin Benton, 21.7 rebounds. Ian Rosh, 17.6 rebounds. They go to 21-0, and they'll be at Huntington on Saturday. Indiana Wesleyan prevails again, this time against Taylor, 72-63. Bit of a rivalry. You know, they're co-located just up and down the street. They have a pair of brothers. They're in the same county, but Indiana Wesleyan won tonight. Indiana Wesleyan goes to 18-3. And Bontrager with 26 points. Boy, what a year he's having. Millen McCartney, 10 points, 4 rebounds. They're going to be at St. Francis on Saturday. The Bethel Pilots, they beat Goshen 110-61. It was a real nail biter. Andrew Hedrick, 19 points, 5 rebounds. Colin Comer, 14 points, 4 rebounds. The Pilots go to 18-3. They're at Taylor on Wednesday. That's a buzzsaw. Those first 4 or 5 teams in that league are a buzzsaw. And Taylor, with that loss, they go to 16-5. They're gonna be at Bethel. Yeah, they're gonna be, though they host Bethel on Saturday. Sorry about that. They host Bethel on Saturday. Only really one other game tonight. Want to highlight Huntington. When you look at that buzzsaw, you got to include Huntington. They won at Mount Vernon Nazarene. I wanted to show you one other thing. So you look at the standings. Grace is going to win the league. I mean, they're just going to. I'm going out on a limb. So Taylor and Huntington are a game apart. You want to finish in that top 4. You can start the playoffs at home. And on Saturday, so Bethel and Taylor play. And Huntington is going to Grace. So both Huntington and Taylor have tough games coming up as they battle for 4th or 3rd or whatever they're battling. It's tight. Oklahoma Wesleyan, they win again tonight against Avila, 76-71. Yashi McKenzie, 17 points, 4 rebounds, and Ethan Williams, 12 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. You know what? I worked all week on Tamaje Izagabu's name. And then he doesn't score, and he scored 6 points or something. It's the universe getting back at me. So Oklahoma Wesleyan goes to 19-2. They're going to host Bethany on Saturday. Friends fell at St. Mary. St. Mary really kind of controlled the whole game. Friends made a run at the end, but St. Mary was able to close the game out. 77-72. Friends goes to 16-5. They host Avila on Saturday. Okay, so here's what's coming. Well, let's go to the standings first. Oklahoma Wesleyan has 2 full games up on McPherson. Look at that win with that win tonight. McPherson's now in 2nd place all by themselves. Friends drops a game, Bethel, and then Evangel. So Evangel will be at Bethel, but all these teams will be at home that are battling for the top spots. You can see them all there. I won't read them. I presume that these 3 teams will prevail. Evangel at Bethel, that should be a very, very good game. I'm not going to step out on a limb on that one. In the Sun tonight, Ave Maria, they defeated New College. New College really struggled this year. 102-62, Alex Sherwood, 17 points, 10 rebounds for the double-double. Marlon Bennett, 15 points, 4 rebounds. The Gyrenes go to 20-2, and they're going to host Florida Memorial on Saturday. I love that matchup. The big, strong team versus the racehorse team. Here's the other action tonight. The only game there I wanted to point out is in overtime. Coastal Georgia beat Southeastern. So Southeastern, who was up there knocking on the door for that first place, is now dropped back a couple games right there with Kaiser and Florida Memorial. You can see that Ave Maria has now stretched out about a 2-game lead. So on Saturday, Florida Memorial will be at Ave Maria, always a good game. Weber will be at Southeastern, a couple key games in the Sun. Indiana Tech, they fall again. They fall to, Lawrence Tech has struggled this year, but not tonight. They beat Indiana Tech 86-76. So the Warriors go to 16-4. They're going to host Defiance on Saturday. Look at the standings there. They are dead tied now with Madonna, with Lords 1 game back. On Saturday, Lords will be hosting Cleary, Indiana Tech hosting Defiance, and Madonna hosting Siena Heights. I expect all 3 of those home teams to win, and everything's going to stay the same, but it's NAIA basketball, so we don't know. Graceland, they also fall to William Penn. I've been telling you for weeks, look out for William Penn. Graceland goes to 18-4, and they're going to be at William Woods on Saturday. So let's take a look where we're at with the standings now. Look at this. William Penn has jumped right up on them. Graceland is 1 thin game away. There's a whole bunch of people battling for third right there. So on Saturday, Missouri Valley needs to win at Clark. Central Methodist needs to win at Benedictine to hold serve. Grandview needs to win at home. And William Penn will take on Park at home. Graceland is idle on Saturday. New to the top 25 this week, IU Kokomo. Boy, did they eke one out tonight. They did win 64-62 to Indiana Southeast. They were able to get a block shot right toward the end of the buzzer to preserve the win, but it was a win. Joseph Anon Jr., 25 points, 8 rebounds. Jake McGrew, 14 points, 16 rebounds. The dude's a freshman, 16 boards, man. So they go to 19-2, and they're going to be at Shawnee State on Saturday. Hey, I told you we had TJ Eskildsen, and that's who we're going to listen to. I struggled with his name a little bit, but trust me, I'll get that one fixed. I'm sorry where I did struggle with your name, Coach. McPherson won tonight, and they are right there battling for a KCAC championship. Let's take a listen. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, I got TJ Eskildsen on. Did I do it right, Coach? Eskildsen,
you got
right?
It.
Okay.
Got it.
I just practiced too.
Yep. Yep. It's a tough one. So you wouldn't be the first one to not get it right. But yeah, you got it right first time. That's awesome.
Coach Eskildsen is the head men's basketball coach at McPherson in the KCAC. And thank you very much for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Billy. Really, really appreciate it, and looking forward to talk some KCAC basketball with you.
So, Coach, you've got I think you got 6 in a row. You had a little tough stretch right around Christmas and the New Year. Big win against Bethel has put you right in that conversation in the KCAC. Just talk a little bit about where you're at. You're tied for second right now, but where do you feel the team is at right now?
Yeah, we're tied for second in the league right now with Friends University down in Wichita. This has been one of the most enjoyable groups I've had and get a chance to coach. We're a pretty young group. I mean, we've got 3 freshmen that are in our top 9. We've got a freshman who's our leading scorer, assist guy. It's been a group that's really they've embraced each other, and I think that's what's made this group special. Is that we talk a lot about toughness and playing for each other, and that's something that this group has really embraced. And in our conference in the KCAC, I mean, I've been in the league now for this is my 16th year that I've been in the KCAC, whether as an assistant coach or head coach. And the KCAC has gotten better every year that I've been in the league, and this year's no exception. I mean, there's some really, really good teams in the KCAC, and if you're not a together group and you're not a group that's playing for each other, you're going to struggle. I mean, you go through some stretches in the league where you might lose a game game, and that one game can turn into 3-4 real quick.
Right.
And that's something that this group has really just embraced. I think the togetherness and bought into each other, and that's something that's been really exciting. And obviously we still have a ways to go. I believe we have 8 games left, so we've got a ways to go. We just got to keep battling, and if we stay together, I mean, we've got a chance to put ourselves in a position to play in a lot of meaningful games here in February. So it's something that's exciting, and I'm really excited to see kind of what this group can achieve, because it's been a fun ride so far, and we're just getting into the end part of the season now. So I got to keep it going.
Before I definitely want to talk about your team, but you've been in that conference. You've been around the NAIA a long time. You were assistant, I think, for 10 years before you took the head coaching job 7 years ago. You've been around the NAIA a long time. What changes have you seen in the NAIA and KCAC basketball?
Oh, it's been interesting in the NAIA in general. I mean, obviously the biggest change from 2 divisions to 1 division.
Yeah.
That's been, and when that happened, I think there was a lot of debate on how that was going to work, and I think it's worked out. It's worked out well, in terms of just I don't think even when it was 2 divisions at the top of both divisions, there wasn't a whole lot of difference between how good those teams were. I mean, I think of like Indiana Wesleyan's and the Oregon Techs up in your neck of the woods that were as good as any of the NAIA Division Ones as well. I think that's the biggest change just in the NAIA in general. Within the KCAC, I mean, when I first got into the conference as an assistant in 2010, we were really, my first year we made it to the Elite Eight of the national tournament as an assistant, and then my second year we made it to the Final Four, and that was kind of the best years we'd ever had at McPherson. But at that time in the KCAC, we were lucky. We were getting two teams in the national tournament. There was no chance we were getting a third team as an at-large bid. We were not one of the power conferences in the NAIA, and that's something that's really evolved over the last few years. We added Oklahoma Wesleyan to the conference. We added Evangel to the conference, York, Avila. So we added 4 teams in that time. I think the level, just the level of competitiveness has raised a lot. And I think one of the fun parts about the KCAC is that there's teams that do it a lot of different ways. There's teams in our league that get a lot of transfers, the JUCO guys, a lot of D2 transfers, D1 transfers. There's teams that kind of go the freshman route. They kind of build. I mean, I think Oklahoma Wesleyan down with Coach Bostwick down there. I mean, they don't bring in very many transfers at all, and they've been pretty dominant. So there are a lot of teams. Bethel doesn't bring in a lot of transfers. There are teams that do it a lot of different ways in our league, and there are a lot of different playing styles. And it's enjoyable. I mean, it's as a coach, it's stressful right now because I feel like we've got 8 to 9 teams that are national tournament level teams in our conference. So you're playing somebody really good night in, night out, and then the teams that are below, a little bit below that, are not that far off either.
Right.
So as a coach, it's stressful, but that's as a competitor, that's what you want. I mean, you want every night to be playing teams that are really good and really talented players. So that's been the biggest thing. One of the things that's been fun about the KCAC is that in the time I've been here, I think there are 6 or 7 of us that are in the conference that were assistants at one time at the school, and now are the head coaches, and kind of those relationships that you develop with those guys, and obviously you're competing, but you're also developing those relationships. I mean, that's been really fun for me to just kind of see how that works out, and those relationships you build with your coaching peers. And I think that's also a part of why our conference has gotten better, is there's been a lot of stability at head coaching roles in our conference as well. There's not been a lot of turnover, and that's kind of how it's worked out.
I thought that, one of the best things for the conference, you were talking about the parity. Josh Roach took his Tabor Blue Jays into Oklahoma Wesleyan, and gave them, they almost had them. And they've struggled more than anybody in the conference. And they went into the number one team at Oklahoma Wesleyan and gave them a whale of a game. So that really speaks highly for the conference.
No doubt. And that's I mean, we play Tabor here in our next game, and
yeah, you're on the road too, Coach. We're going to get to that.
we're on the road. That's not the Tabor's good. Coach Roach is doing a good job. He's got some young guys that are talented. They've got a lot of size. I mean, I think they're going through some growing pains just with the fact that they're dependent on a lot of young guys there. But yeah, I mean, I look at them early before we got into our conference season. Our conference season is so long. We only play 6 non-conference games because our conference is so big. But I look in their non-conference schedule, and they beat Mount Marty, who's towards the top of the GPAC right now at the beginning of the year, and they're talented. That's kind of, they're sitting at the bottom, and they've been struggling to win games, but they got some guys who can play. So that's one of those examples that you got to be ready to go every night. So,
Coach, when I look at your team, a couple things jump out at me. Number one, you've been really successful on the road. I'm a guy who I fear every road game. I think road games are, anyway, it's hard to win road games, and you're 8-2 on the road. And also, I would be a blind man to not have Corbin Gunn just jump out at me. This freshman out of Tulsa, he went to Union High School there. He got all kinds of awards. Boy, he's having a whale of a year, 17 points, 4 rebounds. He's a whale of a talent, Coach. Talk about, he's 6 foot tall. He's been conference player of the week 3 times.
Yeah, Corbin's extremely talented, and outside of just the fact that he's a talented basketball player, he's a winner too. Like his high school team, they lost in the state championship game in 6A down in Oklahoma, which is the biggest class down there. And he was the leader of that team last year. He was kind of their go-to guy, and they've got a big kid who's going to I can't remember where he's going. He's going to a mid-major Division I. So they had talent on his high school team as well, and we've been fortunate to have him here. We worked really hard with Corbin. I feel like we developed a really good relationship with him throughout the recruiting process. He comes from a great family. He's a great young man. Like, he's a good student, good person. Like, you don't have to worry about anything outside of that. But as a freshman, for him to come in and do what he's done, I mean, we thought he was going to be pretty good when we recruited him. We were really, really excited when we got him, but he's kind of exceeded those. I don't think anybody can expect what he's been doing so far. But that's, he's been awesome. And obviously he's been a big part of our success. I think to go along with that with him is we've got some older guys that have also accepted and been great leaders for him as well. That have kind of embraced the fact that obviously he's the point guard, he's got the ball in his hands all the time, but they've embraced the fact that he's gonna be that guy, and they've kind of helped him along in that journey in terms of being that type of player for us as well. And that again goes back to the fact that I think our group is just really bought into each other and their roles and all that stuff. And that's in today's day and age, I don't think that's always easy. And that's something that I'm really proud of our guys with that. And Corbin, I'm excited for what's ahead of him the rest of this year, and hopefully we have him here for a while. And he's excited. He's exciting, and he's a fun one to coach for sure.
You were talking about the seniors you have around him. One of them's Terrence Austin. He's a workhorse. He's playing 26 minutes a game. By the way, you already know this. Corbin Gunn's playing out 35 minutes. He's basically playing a whole game. Terrence Austin, and then Joe Gonzalez. He's a Joseph Gonzalez. He's a senior as well. So you've got some seniors around him. Talk about those guys.
Yeah. So Terrence Austin, I tell everybody, might be the most unique player I've ever coached.
Oh, okay.
Ever been around. Terrence is Terrence is a 5'10", 3'4" man that does a little bit of everything. He scores more baskets around the rim, and you're just like, I don't even know how he got the ball up on the rim, let alone scored. He'll randomly have a back cut, and you'll be like, holy cow, he got the ball there and he finished it somehow. He'll get loose balls, stuff like that. He's just he's the ultimate kind of glue guy in my mind. That also he's capable of, but he's also capable of going and getting 30 on any given night as well. So he's definitely he's a super unique player, and again, a great personality, great young man. Joe Gonzalez might be one of the players that I've coached and I'm as proud of as anybody I've ever coached. So Joe Gonzalez played on our JV team for 2 years. He was not even he was with our varsity. He was not in our rotation with the varsity his first years here. Now Joe could play. He was just behind some guys that he didn't end up getting that chance, but he stuck it out for his 3 years here. And Joe had played probably a total of 20 minutes before this season on the varsity group. So Joe this year is now almost a 30-minute a game guy. He's kind of been the guy who he's been our vocal leader. I feel like he's the guy who when our guys on the floor are kind of going different directions, he's bringing everybody together, and he's kind of saying the right things. That he's that coach on the court for us right now. But for somebody to not, and Joe wanted to play like his freshman, sophomore, junior, and he was good. And that's the hard part is like, I think if he got thrown out there, he would have been fine. He wasn't behind those guys, but he stuck it out. And now this year, I mean, I think he's a borderline all conference guy for us this year. And he's as important as anybody we have on our team. And even though he's a senior, like he's experienced a lot of things on the court for the first time right now. And I think as he's experienced more on the court this year for us, I think he's gotten better and better as a basketball player, and that's made us better and better as a team because he's got that senior mentality about him without just the court experience. Now he's adding that court experience with it, and he's kind of taking it to another level right now. So yeah, he's a great story, and he's one of those guys that's one of the things that, again, recently you've got a lot of transferring and all that stuff. I mean, he just stuck it out, and those are the type of guys that you love, and you love seeing that success for. And and I'm so happy for him that it's paying off for him this year. And that's something that's been great.
And KJ Marshall has really been key for you as well. Yeah.
KJ's another great kid, super athletic, big kid for us, a rim protector. He's got a motor. I mean, he just plays extremely hard, and he's somebody that's going to compete every possession. And he's another guy who he's been a 4-year. This is his redshirt junior year, so right. He redshirted kind of his sophomore year for us. He started games some as a freshman, then didn't play as much as his end of his freshman year. Redshirted his sophomore year, and then now as a junior, his last year as a junior, a true junior, had a great year, phenomenal year for us. And then this year as a redshirt junior, he's kind of, again, he's just our energy guy. He's the guy who gives us a presence inside, blocking shots and defensively. And he's the guy that you don't really have to run anything for offensively as well. He's productive without that. He's on the offensive glass. He makes those hustle plays. And he's another guy that I think has just taken his game to another level this year. And I'm super excited for what he's got, obviously, ahead of him this year. But then we get to get KJ back for another year, and I think he's one of the better players and can be one of the better players in the league moving forward as well, because I know how hard he's going to work, and he's just going to keep getting better.
And Coach Eskildsen, well, I'm going to have to practice your name. It just doesn't roll off the tongue for me yet. But
so I tell a lot of people, so it's spelled so. It actually is pronounced the way it's spelled. Those letters just don't look like they should go together.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
But this team also has an intangible. You and I talked about it before we started. That's one of the reasons I reached out to you. Is your team is tough, and it comes across. They get down. They don't panic. And I think a lot of that toughness, just watching on video, I think a lot of that toughness comes from you, because your sideline persona shows that as well. Not in a bad way, but just talk about toughness and what it means to Bulldog basketball.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I don't know how much credit I can take. I mean, I think obviously, yeah, but I appreciate that. We talk toughness, kind of our three pillars in our program that we talk about all the time are toughness, togetherness, and then the last one is just compete. And I think all three of those things go together. But toughness for us is just not giving up at all times. Like we want to be known as the team that you play, and you know that we're going to play as hard as we possibly can the whole game. And we're going to try and not beat ourselves. You're going to have to beat us. You're going to have to execute your game plan. You're going to have to make shots to beat us. You're going to have to. You're not going to play harder than us. You're not going to out tough us. But like in our last game against Bethel, we got down 10 with 6 minutes to go, and we've been in that. So we called a timeout. We've been in that situation before. I mean, early in the year we played Grandview, had a big lead in that game. They came back and took the lead with about 3 minutes to go. And Grandview's a really good team up in Iowa. We same thing. We just kind of toughed it out, got some baskets, sent it to overtime, and then we felt like in overtime we could take advantage of that. And that's something that I think that's what wins in college basketball is. You've got to have guys who both are physically tough and mentally tough. And then the second part of that is the togetherness that to be tough, I think you need to be together. I mean, you can have a bunch of tough guys individually, and if they're not together and they're not bought into each other and they're not playing for each other, it's not going to succeed all the time. Yeah. And I think that's huge is just that togetherness and that belief that the guy next to me is going to make the play for me. I'm going to make the play for him. And that's something that I think is just huge.
So looking forward here, I think you got 9 conference games left. Does that sound right?
8 or 9. It's 8 or 9. I think.
Okay. Yeah. You got a handful plus a couple. So you're now you're 2 games out of first. You're tied with Friends. You're a game up on Bethel. There's really a battle. Number one, you want to definitely stay in the top 4 because then you'll start the playoffs at home. And then you want to work up as high as you can to get the highest seed because you're not doing the single place anymore in the KCAC. So the higher seed you get, obviously, the longer you get to stay at home. What do the Bulldogs have to do? When you're looking at this, you're saying these things are going really well. These are a couple things we need to tighten up.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we need to keep defending. That was something that we went into this year that we told ourselves that was going to be a big focal point. And I think that goes into the toughness aspect again. And I also think that's a big part of why our road record has been what it is. Like, it's hard to win road. If you don't guard people, it's really hard to win on the road. It's really hard to win on the road at any
Absolutely,
time. Yeah. But if you don't guard people and you just try to outscore people on the road, it's not going to happen. You're not going to beat people. And I think coming down the stretch here, I think that's something that we just need to keep embracing, being as gritty a defensive team as we could be. Our offense can come and go. I think we're first. We've been first, second, third in scoring in the conference for most of the year. We were first, second, third in scoring last year in the conference and finished in 7th place. I mean, I think that's something offense will come and go a little bit, but as long as we can embrace that defensive mentality, we're going to make it difficult for teams to score. I think that gives us a chance in every game we have left. And also just our guys understanding that every game the rest of the way is important. And every game, every season is important. But as you get down the stretch, the level of focus, the level of intensity goes up, and we've got to be able to answer that call and be able to step our game up and our intensity level, and our focus needs to stay at a high level throughout every game.
Well, Coach, I wish you a lot of luck as you move forward here. You're on that 6-game winning streak, and you're right. I counted wrong. I went to Klamath Union High School. You do have 8 games left in conference.
There we go.
But no, I wish you a lot of luck. I appreciate you so much taking a few minutes this morning to talk to us.
I appreciate you, Billy, and everything you're getting the voice of NAIA basketball out and bringing some exposure to NAIA basketball. I think it's a great level of basketball. They're really good coaches, some players that can really play and are doing it for the right reason. I think it's great, everything that you do, and I appreciate it.
Oh, that's very, very kind. I appreciate it. That's Coach E.J. Eskildsen. He's the head men's basketball coach at McPherson College. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks a lot to Coach Eskildsen, also to McPherson College, and I'm glad the Billy D jinx didn't come through. My friends tease me, say when you have a coach on, they always lose, but Chuck, it didn't happen. Anyway, thank you very much, Coach. That KCAC race is really fun to watch. So tomorrow, if everything goes right, we'll have Chris Kemp. He's the head men's basketball coach at Eastern Oregon. He's going to talk some Cascade Conference basketball and Mountaineer basketball. Hey, join us tomorrow and have a good day and get out and support your favorite NAIA team, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.